All right, everyone. Rick Sharp back here again, sharpstrengthtraining.com. And in my last few videos, I've talked about whether or not you can out-train a bad diet and the importance of eating super clean and whether or not there's any really bad foods. Now, I didn't do that to encourage, poor eating habits or to delude people into thinking, oh, you don't have to put any effort into watching what you eat. It's not true. It's part of the equation, but training and how often you're moving and how effective your workouts are is honestly a bigger factor than what you eat. Training is the more important part. If you're moving a lot and you're building a lot of muscle, then you can eat a lot more calories. Where those calories come from is a little overblown, in my opinion, by most of the fitness experts out there. And it was meant to encourage people who are reluctant to even get started because they think the task is so daunting. Oh my God, if I can't do everything perfectly, I'm not going to get results. I can't, they get frustrated with the preconceived notion that the task is just going to be too overwhelming. Things don't have to be perfect to get started. It's about small habits over time, adding to your arsenal. The easiest thing to do is to start moving more. All right, changing your eating habits takes a little bit more time, effort, discipline. There's mental attachments to food, certain things. You don't have to give up your favorite foods, man. You just got to eat less overall. You have to kind of budget. If you aren't willing to give up desserts, fine. You just find it somewhere else that you're gonna make up those calories until if you're trying to lose weight, you create a deficit and you're getting enough nutrients to support your body. Although there have been people who have, just to make a point, lost body fat on Twinkies only. They were miserable after a while, but it can be done. So now what I want to talk about is the type of training that's going to give you the best results so that you can be a little bit more loose with your diet. Not that you should, but what's going to work the best for you. Most people, when they're thinking fat loss, think cardio, cardio, cardio. And that's not what gives you the biggest bang for your buck. If you have a limited amount of time to train, which most of you who are watching this video do, you have to do what's going to give you the best results. And that is lifting heavy weights. Not doing cardio with weights where you select such a light weight and you just move, but you have weights in your hand and now you call it weightlifting. No, this is strength training. You want to pick your basic exercises, your squats, rows, deadlifts, chin-ups, pressing variations, and group those together. Preferably, depending on how many times a week you can train and how strong you are, is going to have a lot to do with your training frequency. But if you can train your whole body twice a week, that'll work out well. If you can get in 3 times a week, that's good. If you want to split things up a little bit, if you're really, really strong, then your frequency for body parts, you may have to go a little bit longer between workouts. But if you focus on your basic compound movements and you put them in, say if you're doing full body, in an order where it's a lower body exercise like a squat, or even a leg press if you have issues. The goal is to get rid of your issues so you can squat. But do a squat and then a heavy row or chin-ups or lat pull-down machine, something for your upper back, and then a hip dominant exercise, preferably a deadlift, and then some sort of a pressing exercise, bench press, standing overhead press, whatever is going to work. And base your workouts off of those exercises with the most weight that you can hit for about 10 reps. Now your rest time needs to be as short as possible without sacrificing reps with that weight. So in the beginning, it might take you 90 seconds after doing a set of squats before you can do something. It might take 3 minutes. The goal is to minimize that rest time. You're working non-competing muscle groups, so while your body's recovering enough to get back under that squat rack, you're doing something else. You're not sitting still, but the goal isn't to go from station to station to station to station with no rest, working out with 30 pounds when you could be working out with 70. It's going to take a long time for me to cover everything, So I think I'm gonna leave it at that for now. Basic compound exercises, as heavy as you can lift for 10 reps is a good goal for like a physique transformation. Just rest long enough to get a maximum performance on the next set. Performance is the key. Intensity. And when I use the word intensity, I don't mean how difficult it feels, because I could do burp-ups until I puke and call that intense, but it's not. Intense is how close to your max weight are you able to lift. If you're super winded, you can't work out intensely. It's difficult, it sucks, it's hard, but it's not intense. You want the intensity to be high so that you burn calories for a long time after your workout. So basic compound movements, non-competing muscle groups when you set up your supersets, and the heaviest weight you can lift for 10. Just rest long enough to nail that next set. As long as it takes is as long as it takes. It will work itself out and it will come down on its own. Your rest times will get shorter, your conditioning will get better, and the anaerobic conditioning, like what this is going to help with, does carry over to your aerobic capacity. It increases your aerobic conditioning too. So you'll notice if you do go for runs or jogs or anything, your energy is going to be better. You're going to have more in the tank, and it translates over to things like wrestling and other anaerobic endeavors. Most of life is anaerobic. The only things you do aerobically are your exercises, basically your aerobic workouts. But most of the things that you have to encounter in life aren't really aerobic in nature anyway. So I hope that helps. I will be elaborating on some of these points a little bit more. I just want to keep my videos kind of short. So anyway, I hope that's helpful. Post any comments or questions, and I will be, following up more on this and getting more into detail. All right, have a great day, guys. See ya.